Good evening, guys. We'll be starting in another 5 minutes.
So hi team, has everyone arrived? Darshan, are we good to go?
Ajit, let's start in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Screen share कर रहा ना तू?
Should I? Okay, fine.
Okay, I think there are around 70 people joining us on YouTube today evening. First of all, thank you all for joining us on YouTube Live today. This is a new platform for all of you all to be joining us. So a good day in pharma stocks today. So we decided that we'll probably break down what happened today and what it signifies, what is the news flow around it, and how the charts are building up. So I think Archit and Pranav have joined us. They'll be guiding us through with the number of stocks that we are going to discuss today in today's episode of the Pharma Talk. There's a lot of news flow, a lot of news being built around a lot of pharma stocks. We have Shreyansh with us today, who will be helping us with the news flows around the different stocks. So I think we'll just wait for another couple of minutes, Archit, and then we can start, I believe. I think a couple of members are joining us. I'm waiting for Bimal to join. He'll be guiding us with his OI analysis on the different FNO pharma stocks. So just help us with another couple of minutes. Then I think we are good to go for a good, healthy discussion. And we'll be covering a lot of pharma stocks.
I think so. Shreyansh has arrived, and we can start with the session.
Yeah, we can start with the session. So we will start first of all with the CNX Pharma chart. Archit will guide us with his analysis.
Yeah. So as you can see, I'll start analyzing the daily chart of CNX Pharma. So as you can see over here, there are two patterns which have developed. The first pattern was a inverse head and shoulder. This is a smaller pattern, and after that, this is a bigger one. Where is this? I guess so. This is the left shoulder. This is the right shoulder. This was the neckline, which has broken out. So there are multiple patterns, multiple reversal patterns, multiple bullish continuation patterns which are happening in CNX Pharma daily chart. And as you can see, the latest breakout is a classic cup and a handle pattern over here. With I think so the bullish green candle supports the or just indicates that the strength is overall bit high in the pharma index. So as you can see, the RSI has also broken out on a daily chart, and CNX Pharma on a daily chart has broken out from a cup and a handle pattern. So after that, we go on a monthly chart. We look where the monthly high was for. I'll convert into a log chart. So as you can see, currently Nifty Pharma is it at its all-time high. I guess the high of Nifty Pharma was around 14,020 levels is the high of Nifty Pharma. So I guess so. Like Nifty Pharma will cross in the coming weeks or the coming months. So the monthly chart is good. It is coming out of a big consolidation of say I think so around 6 years. So I guess the time for pharma has arrived, and we should focus on the individual charts as well as like the individual index constituent charts of pharma. So the weekly and the monthly and the daily charts looks good, and you could it would be the momentum for the next coming days or coming weeks.
So wow, 6 years of consolidation after which Nifty Pharma is looking to break out. Uh, and we are seeing multiple patterns on the weekly chart, and we are seeing on monthly chart it is looking to give a breakout. I think Pranav also.
I think so.
Uh,
This is a classic cup and handle pattern, like the same we had seen in metal index as well. If I'm not wrong, as you can see, metal index also had broken out from such highs, and you can see how the momentum was once it crossed its all-time high. So, like even Pranav can give his insights.
Yeah, I think that was the logic behind all of this, that since we just saw the run up in metal, a lot of people were getting FOMO and entering metals, and so we found this CNX Pharma breakout, and it's a great breakout. I think that's coming through, and not and as we move through this session, I think you guys will understand um, the big breakouts that are coming in a lot of the pharma shares and not just the index itself. So as we move forward, you guys will see which are the best pharma shares, I think, to buy for the next couple of months at least.
exactly. So I'll tell you what has happened in the last at least 3-4 sessions. There's a lot of news which is built up, and as we discuss individual stocks, I think I'll ask Shreyansh to give his insights on whatever news flows have been coming regarding the vaccine, regarding the different approvals. So we will start with today morning's RBI announcement. Shreyansh will just share his insight, and then we can look at Bank Nifty also, because it parallelly affected Bank Nifty as well, and we saw a big run up. So Shreyansh, could you just throw light on what happened today morning in the RBI announcement?
Yes, Darshan. The RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das today announced a 50,000 crore lending program for COVID-19 related health infrastructure. He said that on-tap liquidity window will be available for this 50,000 crores with a 3-year tenure at repo rate until March 31st, 2021. And also the pharma sector will be now classified as a priority sector for lending. This will be done until March 31st, 2021.
Correct. I think 𝐬𝐞 has also joined us. 𝐬𝐞 can also, please 𝐬𝐞, feel free to throw in your insight, because he's a CA himself and understands fundamentals much better than a lot of us.
Hi Darshan, thank you. Apart from what Shreyansh mentioned pertaining to the RBI meet which was held today morning, I believe there has been a lot of news flow pertaining to individual stocks as well, which has beautifully coincided with the RBI meet. And like Archit, Darshan, and Pranav explained how it has timed very well with the charts themselves, each stock has had individual news flow today, be it Lupin, Sun Pharma in the form of a potential movement in the Obamacare policy, which was disowned by the Trump policy, and now there are talks that it could again be brought back into picture, and that is the result. We saw Lupin moving up by 12 to 13%. Sun Pharma was up 6 to 7%. Some news flow on the vaccine when it comes to Cadila. We again saw a 6% movement over there. So each individual pharma stock has had news flows which has coincided very well with charts, which has been explained by the team, I think, on many occasions in the previous seminars. Apart from the pharma stocks, sorry, Darshan, you're saying something.
Yeah, that's what we've had around about 3-4 webinars so far, and we've discussed n number of pharma stocks. We were waiting for these breakouts to come, and as 𝐬𝐞 rightly mentioned, a lot of individual stocks have had some moving news flows, which has resulted into today's rally. And I think 𝐬𝐞 and Shreyansh will, as we progress individually when we cover each stock, they'll give their insights regarding the news flows that have come in today and how it pans for the stock. And on technical parameters, we will see how these stocks can move in the next coming weeks. And we are looking at May and June expiry in particular to be pharma of a big pharma rally lying ahead of us. That is our general consensus. Let us just dive into individual stocks, wherein we'll have Shreyansh, 𝐬𝐞 giving in their fundamental insight. We will have the technical setup being discussed by Archit, by Pranav, and then later on, if we have some OI being built up, I think Bimal has still not joined us. I'll just check with Bimal, because he will also be, he's the right person to help us with his OI analysis. So we can start with the first stock, I think.
Sure. I'll start with Hikal, I guess.
We'll start with Cipla.
Okay, fine. Let's start with Cipla. Pranav, do you want to share the screen like afterwards?
Yeah, you can start out and then I can take over later.
Okay, anyways, the first thing I usually check, you all must be knowing, is the trend. So as you can see over here, like Cipla is in a, this is the monthly chart, I guess, and Cipla is in a good uptrend move. Like you can see a series of higher high and higher lows. So the first breakout was around 750 levels. It had broken out, consolidated, and right now it is looking to break out. I think so. It has broken out. It is retesting its breakout area near 850 levels. So this is the monthly chart we are looking at. But as you can see, if I look draw the Fibonacci extensions of this particular rally as such, the Fibonacci extensions. So we can see a target of the first target in the coming ones should be around 975, and once that that level is crossed, we can see a level of 1322. But as you can see, these are monthly charts, so the time frame of these targets would be much higher. And looking at the daily chart, the same we can observe that it had broken at 850 levels. It tried to retest this particular area. It formed a doji pattern. I think so. This is a doji pattern, which tells us like it was retracing. The bears were strong over here. Now the doji has arrived, so the trend might reverse. So what the trend reversal will change after it crosses the 900 levels. So once it crosses the 900 levels, I'm expecting it to touch the new high of 970 levels. So this is a particular chart of Cipla. I think so. There has been some news also after the market hours, I guess. Can Shreyans or Keval tell us that?
Yes, Archit. The news flow on Cipla post market is that Roche Diagnostics has partnered with Cipla for emergency use of antibody cocktails pertaining to two drugs which are used in the treatment of COVID-19. So this has some marketers.
So it should gap up tomorrow, I guess, at least 5% on
This
this.
is
But
very positive for the stock. Keep in mind how all vaccine makers have been getting a booster shot from the government being more susceptible and responsive to new vaccines and not just Covaxin and Covishield.
and considering it did not move today as well, it just moved 1%. Considering all the pharma stocks, like they gave a move of 5 to 10%. So I guess tomorrow this stock should be in momentum, considering the positive news as well.
Additionally, in the charts, the stochastic is also on the bottom in daily chart, and it's looking to reverse. So, looking at it from it's coinciding with the support as well. So yeah, it should move further up from here.
Okay. Pranav, I'll give you the, like, you can share the screen as well. You can analyze and then I'll get back to it. So you can share your screen.
Oh, sure. One second.
I'll stop sharing. Yeah, yeah, you can share.
Yeah. So I mean, the same thing that Bimal was saying, and the stochastic is kind of coming to the bottom. It'll start to probably reverse from here because it is coinciding with support. It's a very low risk, high reward share right now with a stop loss of I think around 8. Uh, you can take a stop loss of like 860 to 864 and probably go long in this share as long as it doesn't have a steep gap up. These can be your targets at around 920 and 960 levels. Yeah.
I think
What's
so.
the
It has
next share?
Can we check the chart? What is the all-time high of Cipla?
Yeah.
It is trading at its all-time high, I guess.
Yeah,
That is the 975.
correct. Yeah, it's at its all-time high. It's also at its monthly. If you see, it's a big monthly breakout. That's very close, huh?
Yeah, it is looking good. The next one, let's can you look the chart of Cadila Healthcare?
Sure. This right here was a, I think, resistance zone that it just cleared this month. It's as I think Archit puts it, there is a good trend going here. So it looks really good. Plus there's volume that came up in the last month. So yeah, it looks really good on weekly as well. So I think it's a breakout and a retest sort of thing. And it's definitely a long right now. You can go long with
also, I would just request if we can parallelly also check the RRG, because I think pharma is a trending sector right now. And before we go any further, I would just like to give a standard disclaimer that whatever we're discussing right now is basically an insight into what we feel and what is our view based on our understanding of the stocks, understanding of the news flow, understanding of the charts. So just before you take any investment decisions, please do your due diligence. This is supposed to be and meant to be purely for educational purpose. Whatever you hear from us, take it with a pinch of salt, that it may not actually pan out the very way, because eventually we all need to understand markets are supreme, but we are here to understand what has happened in the last 3-4 days, how the charts are being built up and what's ahead of us.
yeah.
Just one more thing. I think Bimal is also with us. So Cipla we discussed is a FNO stock. If Bimal, if you have any insight into the OI analysis at any point in time, please chip in.
Yeah, I do have for Cipla.
Sure, go ahead.
Can you open the NAC website, Pranav, of the
Yeah.
option analysis of Cipla? It would help Bimal to explain us.
There's a very strong resistance at 900 and 950. And 900 में positions आज ही build up हुआ है.
एक मिनट.
तो कल गैप अप खोलेगा तो 900 का क्या होएगा, मतलब if the news is strong?
See, all the positions can sustain. If you see unwinding, example, Cipla में आज positions add हुआ है. If you see Cadila में unwinding हुआ है.
Okay.
Today. So that should give some confidence कि Cadila is much more stronger than Cipla.
Okay. So unwinding in the ठीक है, समझा.
The second last column is today's positions. If it's in minus, then you can say the positions have unwinded.
Okay. So there is a very strong resistance at 900, I guess. Okay. Can check Cadila as well.
Cadila.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. You cannot rely on OI data for individual stocks, because I'll tell you one thing. There might be funds जिन्होंने actually call बेच के रखे हैं just because they want to offload their delivery. Okay. So even if it goes up, they have good enough delivery कि वो लोग दे देंगे, and their targets might have been achieved. Someone wants to sell Cipla suppose at 900, तो वो यही सोच के रखेगा कि for this month I'll sell call options. गया तो ठीक, वरना anyway I have delivery, I'll just square off my positions using that.
Understood.
You can't 100% rely on OI data.
No, definitely. I think we can use that in conjunction with the charts as well.
Yes. But if you see unwinding, then there's a strong reason, because जो positional traders होते हैं, they are getting scared अभी.
But I'll tell you one thing, Bimal, from my experience trading into multiple, clients, etc. एक चीज, मतलब this is something that I've observed. I don't know how relevant it is or how practical it is, but at times when you try to build a hedge position, okay, and suppose for example I have to go long in Cipla, okay, 970 975 का भाव है, मेरे को long जाना है, मैं 940 का put साथ में buy कर रहा हूँ to hedge my hedge position. So if I enter, if suppose I'm entering a basket order for say 20 clients, that means 20 lots of 940 put is being bought at one single, point of time. So at that point in time, there is an immediate drop in the price of the share, which is what I observed. I don't know how practically how these things are linked, but this is what I observed, that if I punch a basket order in say 20 clients for Cipla 940 put, for that span of 5, 10, 15 seconds, there will be a drop in the price of Cipla futures. Okay, so if that practical scenario that I've come across is to pan out correctly, so tomorrow if there is a gap up and the news is so strong, does it also indicate that all these calls which are written, there'll be covering of those calls, and we may see an explosive move following up the gap up, is what I would like to understand from you. Have you ever seen such kind of a scenario where a lot of heavy call has happened and a news has come?
ये चीज सबसे
इंडेक्स में होता है ना ये.
There are people who keep on building positions सोच के कि this is the end of metals का rally, and they keep on shorting call options, and they time and again they go wrong.
So we in individual stocks, as you time and again keep mentioning that individual stock OI analysis is not that accurate, because there will be positions in individual stocks in cash segment also, in futures also. So शायद हो सकता है कि ये डेटा जो अपने को दिखा रहा है कि 900 पे एक बहुत बड़ा रेजिस्टेंस है, that might actually help tomorrow when it gaps up and the chart is looking good. So it might give you that additional short covering which might come in, because there are a lot of calls which are short at 900. That is just my insight. कि ये शायद हो सकता है. This will come to know only tomorrow once it opens how the calls react, and we can probably see this tomorrow also. ये same आपका NSE के website पे जाके you can check कि कल 900 के call ने कैसे react किया, if it gaps up and it moves up. So that was one part of OI analysis. We can move back to Cadila. I think we were discussing Cadila.
Sure. Yeah, so Cadila looks good. It's, I think, broken out and retested. So at these levels also it looks good. Very high volumes. For a medium term stop loss of around 544 though. Target is quite open right now, I think. I mean, if you look at just the monthly trend line that is coming in, if this has to go till there, it won't go straight up. Of course, it has to go up, down, karke. And if the CNX Pharma does hold like we expect it to, Cadila can move to 800 to 900 levels. Quite, but that is a medium term target around 3 to 6 months probably.
Can you check the daily chart of Cadila?
Sure.
I think so. The red candle over there, like it made a high of 610, I guess.
Yeah, 605.
Based on the news of the vaccine, right?
Correct.
I guess if that is crossed, we can expect a target of 640, 650, considering the volumes are much higher. Also, when it declined, the volumes were a bit less. It means like the weak holders exited, and I guess like it should move explosively after it crosses the 610 mark.
Yeah, and there might be some sort of a gap up usually when it closes very close to its resistances, when it just opens above that 605 mark. So definitely if it opens above that, then you can directly buy it.
I think there's some news also which has been built in Cadila. I think Shreyansh will just help us with.
Yes, Cadila Healthcare today has inked and packed with to extend a joint venture with Bayer PTE Limited for further collaboration. Also, Cadila Healthcare has started producing its COVID-19 drug, like the drug which was with AstraZeneca in bulk, and it has produced about 250 million doses and is currently awaiting approval. Mostly the approval will be given in this month itself or in June.
Correct. So there's some vaccine approval news which is surrounding around Cadila. Also, it is broken out on weekly and retested. Anything on the OI front? I think Bimal was also bullish on based on OI analysis.
I guess so. He was talking about the unwinding of that is happening at 600.
Correct.
With the news building up, and anyways the vaccine news would be out by June or May, like May end or June 1st or 2nd week. So I guess according to the charts as well, it has already broken out. It has already priced in that news, and like it has been consolidating since since the past 2 or 4 days. So it is just ripe for a breakout. You should keep this chart in mind.
Yeah, and it's brilliant volumes right now.
Yeah, so according the price action is looking perfect. If it comes to retest, I think so 590 mark as well, 585 to 590 is a buy, because that will become the support, because it was taking resistance at 580 to 585 since a long time. So moving on, let's look at some cash stock. I guess Hikal is a favorite.
Any views on fundamental side for Cadila? We've discussed the chart and the OI and stuff.
Someone can weigh in, the fundamental guys.
On fundamental, honestly, at this point, there's not much to go beyond the news flow that is supporting it, because the news flow itself is so strong that it can override any fundamental at this point in time. And it is superior quality news flow if it does fructify for sure at a later date. As of now, it is still under speculation. The management continues to make various comments across various channels and platforms, but the news flow is very strong, which is superseding fundamentals right now. You'll only know the fundamentals after 2 quarters of results, but by then the stock would have shown a lot of movement.
Absolutely. I think that is one thing that actually concerns me about Cadila. I've been hearing a lot of management commentaries coming in, and we are seeing management coming on live, television and discussing a lot of things. So that is one red flag which we need to keep in mind, that there is a lot of news flow which is in the mainstream media. So yes, the charts are looking very good and we are all bullish on it, but just keep that, at the back of the mind that, okay, there's a lot of media coverage which is happening, which generally, we've seen in the past that a lot of times things are covered in the media, things go haywire. So just be a little careful on that aspect. I think we can discuss RRG also. I would request if Archit can also share his screen once.
Yes, sure. I'll start saying.
Yeah, I've given it to.
So, just a second.
So I think in the meantime, if you could give a brief insight on what is RRG, Darshan.
Yeah. So basically, RRG is a relative rotational chart. Okay, relative rotational graph. So people, there is a relative strength index. There is a relative rotational graph. These two are different things. So in the RRG charts, you can compare the different index and you can rank it accordingly. Whereas in the relative strength, I think so the RS, you can lay the RS line and all those things, you cannot rank the stocks individually. So you don't know. So if you have a basket of stocks, I say like say around 10 stocks, you cannot rank which is the strongest amount of 10 stocks. So in RRG, it just helps us in identifying like which is the strongest among the 10 sectors or the 10, I think so, individual stock. So I'll look at the sector index of Nifty. I'll compare it against Nifty, and we'll look at the weekly chart. As you can see, so there are 4 quadrants in the RRG. One is the leading one is the weakening, third is the lagging, and fourth is the improving. So the best case scenario in RRG is that the sector or a particular stock that you are looking to invest in, or you are looking to you are already invest. It should be in the leading, I think so, zone. So as you can see, Nifty Metal is already in the leading zone, and Nifty Pharma is heading back from the lagging to the improving zone, and it soon will head towards the leading zone. So this is the first indication that the pharma is the relative strength is increasing against Nifty. So then you have to correlate the index with the charts itself, the price action itself, and then you can like come to a conclusion. But over now on the weekly chart, Nifty Pharma looks good. On the price action chart as well, it has broken out. So I guess Nifty Pharma is the way to go. Also, I'll compare the indexes against the Nifty. So this is my watch list. I compare US RRG. I compare Nifty weekly. So as you can all see, all the pharma stocks, Dr. Reddy, Glenmark, Cadila, Cipla, Divis are heading into the leading zone. So it means that their relative strength is much more stronger than the other stocks. Like comparing these 5 stocks, Cadila seems the strongest. Cadila as well as Laurus seems the strongest. Newland is losing some steam as it is going downwards, but these 4 particular stocks, that is the index stocks, are looking good. So that is why on the RRG chart, it looks amazing. And then let's shift to the price action chart as well. So let us discuss.
So basically, for simple understanding of all the people who have joined us, RRG basically is giving you an insight into the strength of a particular price action of a particular stock, and we are comparing it. So when we first saw CNX Pharma, we saw CNX Pharma in comparison, not just CNX Pharma, we saw the different sectoral indices in comparison with Nifty, and we saw where we saw metals were leading, and we were seeing pharma after a long consolidation was moving from lagging to improving, and now it is looking like it will enter the first quadrant, which is the most important quadrant, the leading quadrant. So now we are seeing in comparison to Nifty the different stocks, and we are seeing index stocks like Divi, Cipla, these FNO stocks, and we are seeing that they are slowly the tail of the chart. You can see the tail; it is moving into the leading quadrant. So that, along with the chart, gives us a very positive approach towards, we are very much positive based on these couple of data points. And now, Archit will take over and explain you the charts.
So let us look at the index stocks, or we are looking at some cash stocks of FN.
Let us
Pharma.
start with index so that we can just cover the OI also
I think
and
so. We
news
have
also.
covered the CNX Pharma chart in the start itself. So should I go like again explain it, or should I
We
go?
can start with the individual stocks. I think CNX Pharma, we've seen it's
I
on
think
the
so.
verge
We
of
are,
monthly breakout.
Divis, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. We had discussed Divis in the last webinar itself at the end. So you can see on the daily chart, it had a resistance at 3950. It broke out, went till 4150. It came to retest this particular area. If you look into some this thing, and you can see a higher high, higher low kind of formation as well on a lower time frame chart. I'll just draw a channel. So this is the channel formation over here. As you can see, it has taken support from the breakout zone, and I guess the Divi slab overall, once it crosses the 4150 mark, it will head towards 4400 in this, I think so, this month. Also, looking at the weekly chart, overall it has broken out from an HNS continuation pattern. We have seen this pattern in Laurus, in so many other stocks. So this is a good sign. Also, the volume is good. So I think so. DB slab, it is an index stock, right? DBs, I don't know what is the the percentage value in the index, but this is looking good. The DBs chart. The next one, let us discuss some cash stocks or the Hikal. We'll look at the monthly chart of Hikal. Even this we had discussed in our webinar. So as you
Yeah,
can
I
see,
think we discussed this at around 208 levels, and we had said that our targets were 250 and 300. Just I think 2 weeks back, and
it has
gone
given
on
an
a rampage.
explosive move. And this type of patterns, the HNS continuation patterns, like they have a high success rate. Like the accuracy is very high. So that is why I look for such patterns on my every time frame, whether be it on a monthly or a 5 minute time frame. So if I'm spotting these patterns, and usually the explosive moves come through such patterns itself. So on a monthly chart, it has broken out. We can look at the Fibonacci extension values, the targets. So as you can see, the first target of the Fibonacci is around 360 levels. I guess so. This can be achieved in this month itself. So the Hikal looks good, although it is extended on a daily time frame. This particular gap will become the support area for Hikal. The gap of 286 to 300, and 286 to 290 level will become a support for Hikal on a daily time frame. Otherwise, the target of this is around 360 levels.
Archit, sorry to intervene,
Yeah.
but I just had a comparative thought that came to my mind. Can we do a chart check of Dishman Carbogenics versus Hikal?
I'll just see. It's DCAL, right?
Yeah.
DCAL.
Okay. So you'll prefer this okay, so this is the DCAL one. So as I'm looking at the weekly daily time frame, the closing prices only. So it has broken out from a, I think, just a second. It is not getting adjusted.
I think if you do log, it might.
Okay. Still, I look at the weekly chart and reset the
Yeah.
chart.
Yeah, so in weekly also, I think if you see decal now, it's very close to a breakout. I've just seen this chart today.
Yeah, it is looking good. I think so. The trend has changed, and yes, so it is at the breakout level of 170 levels, I guess. Decal, and it can go till around 200 is a big resistance for decal. Considering Hikal has moved, this should also move as well on the weekly time frame. Just on the daily time frame, it is trying to cross its. It is just consolidating right now. So I hope this also moves as well. Is this in the same group itself, Hikal and decal?
Similar, not same, but similar lines.
Okay. So are we taking some questions? There are some questions on the YouTube channel as well. Darshan?
Yeah, I'll just help you all with the questions on YouTube. Um, okay, so yeah, there's one question. Can we check Sun Pharma? I think it has moved, and as Keval also rightly mentioned, Lupin and Sun Pharma moved on Obama Healthcare, some news related to it. So we will be checking Lupin and Sun Pharma. That is on our list, of course. As we move into the session, we'll be discussing Lupin and Sun Pharma both.
Yeah.
Archit, will you be able to provide any information on fresh entry for pharma stocks? Now, which particular pharma stock are you looking for a fresh entry into? Would be my first question. But yeah, by and large, where you think we should be looking to enter pharma now?
See,
And which companies?
as a momentum trader, I look at DVs because DVs is the strongest and it usually moves like the chart pattern I'm liking it. So I think so. The risk reward is quite favorable in terms of DVs. It is a API structure as well. As far as my knowledge is concerned, this is a API company. So DVs look good. Any dip to I think so 3980 or 3960 is a buy over in DVs, whereas it has a breakout level at 4150 levels. So DV seems the best. Even Lupin, all these stocks have broken out, but I want to see some retracement over here. As you can see in Lupin, I look at the chart of Lupin. Lupin is breaking out from a big inverse head and shoulders pattern. You can see this is the left shoulder. This is the left shoulder. This is the head, and it is breaking out since a consolidation of I think so 4 years. So as you can see, there is no there is less supply over here. So any dip to 1100 level is a buy in Lupin. But if you want to go for momentum, you have to jump in. You have to time your entries according to the 5 or 15 minutes chart, and we can see a target of 14. I can see a target of around 1400 levels because like it has broken out on extremely good volumes. So Lupin and DVs are the best picks according to me.
There's one question, rather a comment. FIIs and DIs sold today. Still, it was in positive. Is it a trap? Any insights? FIIs and DIs sold today. Still, it was positive on. I think he's talking about Nifty that we still managed to close in green. Is it a trap? Any insight? I'll just like to put in my comment before the experts given their opinions. So today, I think on our CGCM group also there was one comment from my side stating that there is a lot of consensus bullishness in and around pharma right now. If you go through different feeds platforms, you'll be seeing that people are now bullish on pharma as a sector, and obviously the news flow has come in, and if you see the news channels, they are covering a lot of pharma stocks, obviously because there's a lot of data which is being built up in that particular manner. So yes, you should be prepared. In my personal opinion, you should be prepared for one shakeout which will take out the weak hands, is my personal view. Having said that, we've seen it in the past, and I have personally seen it in the past, that a lot of times sectors which are leading and which move, you probably miss out on getting an entry into. That's what a lot of people did with metals. They just lost the entry point, and then they thought we'll enter it on a retracement or a retest of levels, and they just missed the rally. So with pharma, I would advise that it is looking really good. The news flow and the environment right now that we are into is all conducive for pharma stocks to move in the next couple of months. The situation that the country is in is a depressing situation, but it is the most favorable situation for these pharma companies. So my personal opinion is you should enter it in a manner that you'll have funds to either pyramid it on the upside once it starts giving fresher breakouts, or you should have funds in hand to add when it gives that shakeout to take the weak hands out. So this is my personal opinion on pharma, that there might be a shakeout which will take weak hands out. Be prepared for it and have money in your hand to invest at that point in time, but don't miss out. Otherwise, there is a good chance that you'll miss out on the bus. And we've seen how pharma moves. It just doesn't give you a time to enter. So don't miss out. That is the whole purpose of this session, that we personally feel that pharma as a sector is very, very bullish, and it is the right time to discuss pharma. A lot of positive news flows, a lot of good structures on the chart.
I guess people are
Do you have
scared.
anything to add?
I think so. The people are scared entering stocks at a higher price. They usually prefer stocks that are trading or like that are beaten down. So that is the mentality that you have to change. Otherwise, you cannot make use of the momentum, I guess, because people missed out on the metal stocks because they thought that abhi aur kitna badega, itna already bad gaya. They compared the prices like last year. So better to look at your charts and trust your charts itself. Like, don't think of the news itself. Like, I personally do not think of news, and I go according to my charts and place my stop loss accordingly. So that is my view on it. Instead of focusing the FI, DI figures and all those things, if the chart is showing some warning signal, then you have to take into account. Sometimes you lose as well. Respect the market and get out of it. But I usually don't focus on the news. Okay. So the next question is, we can look at the chart of Wockhardt. I think so. Pranav, can you share your screen?
Yeah, I'm sharing it. So I think someone was asking about Wockhardt. So personally, I think above this 545 mark. So if you see this a monthly chart, first of all, there has been constant resistance and fall from this resistance of around 545 mark. So this is Wockhardt is right now at a very crucial spot. Again, over here in 2013, it took resistance, and the next time it gave a breakout, retest, and went up. Again, it came here, took a support, and it broke it. And again, it's been taking resistance at 545 levels only. Plus, it's a good breakout over here of a falling trend line. So I think once it starts sustaining above around 545 levels, it's a very good buy. Especially since we're looking at a pharma trend. So Wockhardt looks very good above, 545, especially closing candle. If you see even in weekly, it is going there after, I think it's trying to cross it after 2018. So it's been nearly 2.5 to 3 years. So it looks like a good breakout that is coming in over here. Anyone have any, was there any news on Wockhardt today, or should I move on to another share?
No, I don't think there was any news surrounding Wockhardt except for this priority sector funding, which helped pharma stocks to really rally today. There are a couple of questions. Okay, one is, on what basis of RSI we have to check monthly, daily, or weekly basis? From there on YouTube. On what basis of RSI we have to check monthly, daily, or weekly chart?
I guess the RSI should be about on the daily chart. It should be in the range of 60 to 80. Those levels is preferred if you are looking to enter in a long position. Don't be too worried about the RSI concept. Like, even the RSI can stay long in the range of 85 to 90 for months, like for 3 or 4 months, or even till a year. So don't look at the RSI. Just don't just sell a stock because the stock is like at a very overbought position. So you have to look at it as a range. It should be in the bullish range of 60 to 80 on a daily time frame. On a weekly time frame, it should be around 60 levels. If it is around 60 levels, then it is good. There is nothing to worry. And on the monthly time frame, it usually moves in a very slow manner because it is a monthly chart. So usually I don't see RSI on a monthly chart. I usually see on a daily, on a week, and on a weekly time frame.
Yeah, and I think as rightly said by Archit, RSI and stochastic are two things which you know roam around a lot in the oversold or overbought counters as well. So you should look at RSI in conjunction with other things like price action, which are much more powerful.
And as these are basically indicators, so indicators you usually do not, it is always used for confirmation. You cannot base your trade analysis on the indicators itself. This is the biggest misconception. So that is why whenever you look at stochastic, RSI, or any other indicator, if the price confirms, then you have to look at the RSI or the stochastic. So if the price is confirming, if the price is breaking out, you have to respect the price itself, and not the R or any indicator. It is used for confirmation. But just keep this in mind. You have to practice it to understand the RSI and the stochastic well. Like, you have to read it continuously and you have to look at it continuously.
Also, one more thing, I think on RSI, a lot of people just don't look at the pattern. They look at the divergence a lot of times. I think that is something that can help you take a better trading decision.
Yeah.
So you can also look at divergence as an important indicator, wherein you can place some more value to it or more weightage to it, rather than what level the RSI is trading at. The other question from YouTube is, Archit, you seem to be very bullish on Laurus Labs, as you have always been since the last 1 year. Through your tweets, what's so attractive in Laurus? Views, please. And I would request even Keval to chip in his views, because he's a big time investor in Laurus Labs. So he definitely has a lot of views on Laurus on the fundamental side.
I think so. Cable should take on the fundamental side. I'll take on the technical side.
Yeah, I've stopped sharing. You can share your screen for long.
I'll first consider the technical chart. So looking at, I've started looking at the daily chart of Laurus Lab. So this kind of a formation, this is a VCP kind of a formation. It is consolidating since like a long time. It has consolidated for 3 or 4 months, and then it again starts its up. The thing I like about Laurus the most is the volumes. Whenever it goes up, it has good volume. Whenever it comes down, it consolidates on low volume. As you can see, it is consolidating on a low volume. So these are some signs that the stock is being accumulated. And if the price is confirming the same, you have to buy at every breakout structure, considering the volume is good. So this is a pure uptrend stock. It has a low float as well. It doesn't have a very big float. Also, the story of Laurus is quite good. It is performing quarter on quarter basis it is meeting its expectations. So I think so. The chart with the story itself, I'm bullish on that itself. Like nothing on else. I think so. On the fundamental side, Cable can chip in and can let us know.
I believe the price itself is reflective of what the company has done when it comes to its financials. And having said that, the story still has legs to go, in my personal opinion. When it comes to Laurus Labs, if anyone has the opportunity to read through the con call, you'll figure out how aggressive they have been on their sales targets, especially the annual sales targets and the capex that they have done in the past. That is going to yield them results. Currently, it is still trading at 26,000 crores in market cap. It is still by size a mid-size company, and it still hasn't moved into the large cap space as yet. As far as Laurus Labs goes, just to sum up the fundamentals, the most important point is the promoters. The promoters have come good on everything that they have said, or rather, most of the things that they have said, especially concerning the debt part. And when you have trust in certain promoter category, I think it makes your job very easy to invest in a company on the fundamental side. Rest, it has been delivering well on the numbers, and I personally think it can show healthier numbers coming ahead.
Perfect. Keval has been invested in Laurus for a long time, and I don't think he's going to sell his shares for at least a good couple of years, no matter what the price on the screen shows. Going ahead, I think there's one question which is something that a lot of people generally ask. Once COVID is normalized, do you think pharma has the legs to go longer for years? And I think this is something that was the question of 2020 as well. Once COVID normalized, we hope it gets normalized. Even if the stocks don't do well, we don't care. But I think it is big time and high time that COVID starts getting out of our lives. So Archit, do you have any take on this? Once COVID is normalized, do you think pharma has the legs to go longer for years?
I guess so. I think so. COVID will normalize surely, but it would be like the things I've heard from the Sajal sir's conference as well, the webinar that I attended. He was of the view that the COVID vaccine or the shots would be more like a flu shots that you have to take every 6 months or on a year-to-year basis. So considering on that fact, I think so it has the legs to go on. And if the charts are showing that it has broken out from a multi-year breakout, then I am a chart follower. So I'll look at the opportunity on the chart. I'll rather not focus on all these things, but I guess so. Pharma has definitely has the legs to outperform everything in the next 2 or 3 years. And also people would be more
One more
focused
thing
on
that,
the
that I just want to
yeah.
add here is I think what COVID has taught us as a pandemic, as an event in each one of our lives, is that health is the biggest and the most important thing that we as humans should value. And I think that is something as Indians and across the world we are seeing that people are now started. If they were not, I think a lot of people were not very serious about their health, and I think that is a culture which is being built thanks to the pandemic. Nothing great about the pandemic, but I think it is teaching us that health is the most important thing, and we should not neglect our health. And considering these things in our mind, in the longer run, yes, pharma as a sector will definitely perform well. Not just pharma, a lot of sectors, relating to wellness and, personal hygiene and fitness, these are the areas which in the longer run, I think will yield a lot of dividends to the investors. I think Keval, you have anything, because Keval is also a very big time fitness person, more than I think the rest of us. So Keval, you have anything to add here?
I just believe in one thing. No matter the amount of wealth that you have, if your health is not going to support you, that wealth is of no use. You may be able to buy the best medicines, but I think all it'll do is help you rest on a bed, not anywhere else. So I think health is imperative. And just to take the conversation ahead, since most of it is on pharma, I had a question for Darshan, Archit, and Pranav over here. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala typically in most of his interviews goes on to state, especially last year, I'm repeating last year, that pharma in the bull run was on 40 not out if it was chasing 200. Where do you think we stand currently on that score sheet?
So I have attended that webinar of him, like when he was talking about this thing. So considering that thing, he told this thing at around, I think so 20th July, I guess 20th July, when it broke out from this resistance. I guess so it has like it can go till 20,000, I guess, according to my charts. I don't know about others, but it can really double in the next 2 or 3 years.
So there is enough
Yeah,
headroom.
I think I agree. The thing is that a lot of times when we look at these charts, we get and we enter some shares and we see 10-20% share has gone up, or 30%, we tend to exit. But these multi-year breakouts are truly phenomenal, and truly they give a really good rise surely in the short term as well, but in the long term, the sector itself becomes very, very bullish. So what Archit is saying, I totally agree with that. It can go to 18 to 20,000 levels quite easily in the next couple of years.
And I think Sudarshan has gone for dinner, I guess.
Just to
Uh,
add to that, I think we've seen metals how it has performed, and I think a lot to do with metals was commodity prices and the cyclical nature of metals. I think with pharma again we are in this phase where the cases are rising, and there's a lot of medical infrastructure which is at its neck. So I think pharma for the next and I'll give you one insight, and this is not something I should be disclosing on a public platform, but I was having a conversation with a person from the medical and a pharmacy background, which is doing packaging for a lot of um, big time listed pharma companies and the likes of Glenmark and Cadila. And trust me, all the production that is happening around in a lot of pharma companies is related to COVID right now. Obviously, these people have a lot of data analysis going into, and I think given the kind of production that is happening in these pharma companies, I am a little worried that this situation might just go all over the place rather than normalizing. And we all are hoping that it will normalize, but definitely I'm seeing that a lot of production is happening in these companies. I was reading Bharat Biotech some news which had come in, wherein they are looking to ramp up the production across the world for their vaccine. So I think we have to take these things into consideration, that pharma is right now one of the sectors which is going to benefit from the things around us. We've seen multi-year breakout, how it pans out in the metal sector, uh, along with the commodity prices and the soaring of the prices and the cyclicality of the industry. Pharma right now, after a good consolidation, I think is in a very sweet spot, given how the environment is. I don't know about Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's comment. I have probably missed it, but it is good if the pharma sector doesn't perform. That indicates that people are healthy in a country. So from an Indian perspective, I would hope that pharma doesn't do well, signifying that the country is doing well in terms of its health. That is my short comment on it. Uh, Anything you want to add, Keval, regarding the comment, because you would also be having an opinion on the comment being made.
I just wanted to add something on behavioral mindset, because if you see the pharma index, I think we went into a stagnation period for good 4-5 months post the rally in July. So those who are unable to digest such movements of stagnation will find it very difficult to have themselves with this sector, because it has a tendency to stagnate and give you the feeling that the story has played out. But one needs to focus on their analysis, be it technical or fundamental, in order to see to it that they are in the right space.
Absolutely, because eventually money, the most important part of money is it has to flow for it to create value. So that is the whole purpose of having these webinars and seminars and discussing the RRG and stuff, because money has to flow from one pocket to another, from one sector to another, to create wealth for the people who are playing around with that money. So I think FI, DI, data, all of that is fine, but given the charts, given the sector, the environment right now, we are of the view that overall across platforms, you will see experts and people who understand market or who knows some things about market, who are beginners or freshers also. Everybody is bullish on pharma. My one point from my side would be cautious of one point, that there might be a fake out or a shakeout which will take your stop losses. So be careful with your stop losses. And as Keval mentioned, as situation starts getting normalized on statistical point of view, there might be some period of stagnation. But if you're invested in good companies, solid companies, companies which are backed by good fundamentals, I think this has the legs, in my personal view, to do the 20,000 mark on the index, as Archit rightly mentioned. So I think that's about it. The questions that we had on the pharma related to pharma. Just one more question. Thanks for the insights of pharma, but can you give your views on hospitality space, hospital space, particularly Apollo Hospital? There's one question on YouTube related to pharma.
Just check. On the weekly chart, it is looking good. It has been consolidating. So while, and you can see a cup and a handle formation as well on the daily chart itself. So Apollo Hospital looks good. It is on the verge of a breakout. I think so. There could be another contraction, considering this contraction is, it is around 6%. I can see another contraction as well. If it contracts to another 3%, it should if it retests like 3250 mark, it should be the best scenario. But if it closes and crosses and sustains 3350 mark, then Apollo Hospital looks good for a good breakout. Also, the volume action is good. It is consolidating on low volumes, or it is declining on low volumes, and whereas whenever it goes up, it has good volume following up. So this is a, you can see it is under accumulation. So keep an eye on it. Looks bullish to me. The next stock that we are going to discuss.
We can look at Sun Pharma.
We can look at Sun Pharma and Lupin. I think those were the two
index stocks, right? The only problem with Sun Pharma is the overhead resistance. It has a good resistance at like on a monthly basis. I'm talking about. It has a good resistance at 700 to 750 mark. So on a monthly chart, that is the upside, which is it is limited to for the current basis. But on a daily chart, it has broken out. It has broken out on good volumes itself. So I think so. Any retest to 665 level is a buy over here, and you can see 700, 725. But I personally prefer Cadila or Lupin, because Cadila has no overhead supply. So Sun Pharma, I'll prefer like Cadila or Lupin. What are your thoughts, Pranav?
Yeah, I think Cadila and Lupin, especially if it retests back to the breakout levels, it looks very good. But
Although
in Sun Pharma also, personally, I think I've been tracking this share for a while. So it is usually one of the slower movers in the pharma sector.
Yeah, although it is looking good, but it is less volatile.
Yeah, and above 700, it can do it can probably on a monthly basis get to 800 to 850 marks is what I think.
Even I can see that levels over here. Like,
yeah.
Once it crosses the 700, 710 mark, it can go till 800, 850 marks. But yes, keep this in mind that it moves slowly. That is why I don't like it. Like, it usually moves one day and then consolidates for a longer period of time. But overall, the trend will change after it crosses the 700 mark. The other one we were going to see was Lupin, I guess. I think so. We had discussed Lupin. As you can see over here, 1100 was a breakout level for this stock. It was consolidating since, I think so, how many months? This is a weekly chart. So it was consolidating for 32 weeks from the last August, I guess. So it has broken out that 1100 mark. So any retest to that particular level will act as a support. Whereas I think so, with the momentum coming in, it could easily touch 1350 or 1400 marks. So it is overall positive, but also here the upside is limited to 1400 marks in Lupin. Like that is a 200 point upside, and any retest to 1100 marks is a definite buy in Lupin. Okay.
Alkem also, I think we can look at Alkem Labs, which are doing well today.
Yeah, on a week, like on a trend basis, it is in a good uptrend. Surely, you can see it is making good highs. But yeah, so I think so. If it crosses today's high, that is 2950 mark, it could go to touch the new highs of like 3200 or 3150 mark. But I think so. It is it consolidates like, and it is illiquid as well. Is it? I usually don't trade in this stock, but
Yeah, for a FO stock, yes, definitely. Is it a FO stock? In the
yes,
first,
yes, yes, yes.
it is
That is
a
a
FO
first
stock.
stock, right?
We've traded in it once, I think. I think it is moved today back on one news regarding a final approval for one from the uh, US drug regulator ANDA for one of its drug. I think it moved back on the back of that news today.
And I usually don't like these higher wicks. As you can see, it usually makes such kind of higher wicks and then like it comes down. So I usually avoid stocks which is making like such wicks over here. Although the chart pattern is positive, but with the lack of volume over here, I personally don't prefer Alkem.
Correct. We can cover one more stock. I'll tell you one second. We can cover NATCO Pharma. I think there's some news being built in NATCO as well. A lot of people were actually questioning me about NATCO today. So I think, Archit, if you can do the favor of addressing the questions of these people.
Okay. The weekly chart looks good. It is consolidating. Let us look at daily chart. So yes, it is consolidating. I think so. You can see there's a cup and a handle formation. You can see over here. Like this is a cup followed by two contractions of similar this one. Here is another contraction. Although over here, what is the only issue is that these volumes over here, the daily volumes are usually a bit high. So that is a bit issue to me. But if it crosses and closes about 950 mark, then it solves, like there is no issue. So it is consolidating. You can look to do a swing trading over here. So if whenever it comes around 880 to 900 levels, which this particular level, it is acting as a good support for NATCO Pharma, whereas it needs to cross and sustain the 950 960 mark. So once it does that, then it will move very quickly. But these two particular levels, like the 950 to 960 mark, it should close above that particular level. Once it does that, then it will be in momentum. Till that time, it will consolidate.
Right, and I think today it received an emergency approval for emergency use for one of its tablets.
After market hours or during market hours?
I think the news was covered during market hours, I believe.
Okay.
It's got approval from CDSCO, that is an Indian regulator. In combination with remdesivir, is used for treatment of COVID-19 positive patients. So I think it is again something related to COVID, where
yeah, on a weekly time frame also you can see, like I just saw cup and handle pattern. Considering this thing, like it should cross this particular level. So once it crosses that level, then it would be in momentum, like this particular level. Once it crosses then this moment, then it is a breakout from a cup and handle pattern on a weekly time frame.
So almost like if we can consider 1000 as a round number resistance,
yes, right.
About
Definitely.
1000 is where, once it closes above that, we can see probably a good, I think
200, 300, 400
points, 700 to 1000. We can see a good 300 point upside from 1000 once it closes above 1000. So that is about NATCO Pharma. Dr. Reddy also had some news today.
Also, NATCO has like a double top wick at 996. So yeah, 1000 looks perfect. There are
Perfect.
2 weeks that have happened in September as well as I think December or sometime.
Yeah, over
Right.
here, right?
Yeah.
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 Perfect. Dr. Reddy, I'll tell you what is the news flow. It's relating to the Russian-made Sputnik. Many private hospitals have got in touch with Dr. Reddy Laboratories for supply of the Russian-made Sputnik V. Nitin Dangal, a senior doctor at a private hospital, said we told Dr. Reddy Laboratories that we need 2,000 doses per day. So there's some demand for the Sputnik.
Like cutting all the noise in Dr. Reddy, if you look at the monthly chart of Dr. Reddy, it had broken out on last year June. It broken out from the 4,400 mark. It went till 5,700. Now it came to retest and is in a particular consolidation zone. This is a very good consolidation zone. It is consolidating on low volumes. I think so. It just needs a like a pickup or a trigger, and once it crosses the 5,500 mark, it would be unstoppable. Like you can see a rally of nearly 1,500 points once it crosses the 5,500 mark, and you can see a hammer kind of a formation over here near the retest zone. So it means that the buyers are stepping in, and they have stepped in. It is just a matter of point that this resistance of 5,500 feet crossed, and once it crosses that, I think so. According to the chart, it is looking very attractive and it is looking very good. Anything more to add to it?
No, I think that's about it. I
No, I
think
think that's
we
perfect.
covered most of the pharma stocks that
Can we also see, sorry, Granules? I think that one has given a breakout as well. That'll be helpful for the viewers.
We'll make a list of the stocks that we have discussed. I guess anyone, and then we can post it on our Twitter handles as well, so people can have a watch. Yeah, Granules is looking good. It has been consolidating, I think so, since a long time. I'll draw a trend line as well. So it has given a trend line breakout. I guess this is another call. So it has crossed the 350 mark and it has managed to close above that. I think so. It has a good. We can expect 375 marks. It's like in the coming days or coming weeks. This is my short-term target, I guess. What do you feel, Pranav?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been actually consolidating a long time. It's been trying to break through that 342 to 345 mark for I think the past couple of weeks at least. So I've been keeping a track on this. Good volumes as you pointed out there. 375 marks should easily reach, and it is an FNO stock, so people can trade in it well. I know a few people who have taken the 360 CE today as well on
And
this.
also, this is see how the RSI is behaving. The RSI is breaking out. Usually, the indicator breaks out uh, more like early than the price itself. So, if the RSI breaks out from the 60 zone, it will go into a bullish zone. Right now, it was in the neutral zone. I usually call 30 to 60 or 30 to 40 as a neutral zone where the stock is in the period of consolidation. Once it crosses and sustains about 60, it goes into a period of acceleration. So keep a watch into the stocks which are where their RSI is supporting the price action and it is moving from 60 to 80. And so I think so the RSI has also broken out as well as the price. So we can granules look good for like 375, 380 mark.
I think from your list, Pranav, you had a couple of more stocks. I think you were looking at Fortis also, which has been.
Do you want to share your screen now? Or should I keep it?
Yeah,
Fortis and
sure.
Marksans.
I'll just.
Okay, you share. I'll stop
I think
sharing.
that I think from the list, I think we have the last 3 or 4 shares. One is Marksans Pharma, Fortis Healthcare, Take Solutions, and we can end the session with I think covering SPARC, that is Sun Pharma Advanced Research, which
Sure.
moved today on the back of Sun Pharma. So these 3-4 stocks we can cover, and I think it's almost 9:30. We can wrap the session. so that people can go and have their dinner, peacefully, knowing that okay, pharma is a good sector to be invested in.
Sure. So if you see Marksans, I've been in this since I think actually around 55 levels. Taken a very good resistance at 75, and now after a couple of days of a few days, I think around since 23rd April, so around 2 weeks of accumulation and consolidation, it's starting to break out from these levels. So definitely I think above 77 levels or 78 levels, you can see this go to 110, 112 levels quite easily. So you can see a good 20 to 25% rise from here once it breaks out from around 77, 78. This is great volumes that have come into play as well. Another one that
I think
you
so.
were
It
saying?
has also broken
Yeah.
out from a HNS continuation pattern. I have if you can
On-
see on a weekly chart or monthly chart itself, I can
Yeah.
spot a HNS continuation pattern. Like considering this as the
left
shoulder and that one as the right shoulder, and this is
and
as the
this
head.
is right. Yeah, you can see that.
Like at 65 levels, it has broken out, and I guess once it crosses the 78 mark, it could go till test the like you said, like 100, 105 mark.
Correct. So this is looking quite good. You can keep a long-term stop loss below this neckline that Archit identified around 64 levels for a medium-term target of 100, 110. Another one that we were going to look at was Fortis. So Fortis again is taking a resistance at its all-time high, which was around 222 to 230 mark. It's trying to break out from there. Very good supports at 200 if you see. So I would recommend that you buy it above 230 marks only. If you don't already hold it, if you're holding it, then hold it with like a 199 rupee stop loss for sure. And it looks good for a ripe breakout soon. So keep this on your watch list as well. And I think this is one of Bimal's favorite shares as well, fundamentally. What was the other share that you were looking at? You were mentioning, I think Take Solutions.
From your list, you have identified Take Solutions, and I think
so this is a more riskier share, but I really like it because there have been great volumes since around November, December, and this has been on my watch list for a while now. And finally, today it is sort of trying to give this breakout. It has, but for us on a safety basis, I would probably say buy it above 58 marks with a stop loss of 1 sec. So that weekly is coming in, plus there is, I think, a sort of a daily breakout that has also come in here. So you can definitely look to buy this share. Looks very good. If it retests around 54 levels, then over there, or else tomorrow on opening, volumes have started picking up again. So it looks really good. And you can buy it at this level with a stop loss of right here. So your stop loss will be around 52 levels. And this could give you a good rise because there have been a very good consolidation, and the stochastic is trying to go up as well.
the other thing about these, these smaller shares is that, with a smaller market cap, they generally tend to give a circuit kind of a move. So I think this is another candidate for circuit kind of moves. And, once it starts picking up, I think it barely comes in hand. People have to chase it and finally get it and get it very high. So I think Pranav has given you all a good entry point. Buy it tomorrow, subject to your due diligence, of course. But 54 is the breakout, right?
Yes,
54. Retest of
54
breakout
to
is 54.
54.50, correct.
55. Yeah. Okay. The last one was SPARC, I think.
Yeah. I think this is the clear resistance that we're getting here at around 200 odd levels. Definitely quite a big resistance here. It's I would personally not buy it until it crosses this resistance of around 200 and let's keep it at around 210. So as soon as it goes above 210, it will give a big breakout of around 2 years, and it's coming there for the fourth time. So let's hope for the best.
Absolutely. I think I think we can wind the session here. I think we've covered a number of stocks. We've covered RRG, we've covered some basics of OI, and I think a lot of cash stocks have also been covered. You all have anything to add before we wind up for the day?
No, I think that was
Hi,
it from my end.
nothing on the stock side, but just a small thank you note to everybody to let us convey our thoughts and to have this interesting conversation. Just
Likewise, Keval. I think I would request all the people who are still watching us to do subscribe, so that next time around, you don't have to wait for a tweet or a WhatsApp message. You will be notified, and we can probably, in the times to come, we can keep having more of these discussions on, say, some related some scripts in particular, or some sector in particular, wherein we can have a roundtable kind of a conversation rather, wherein we are discussing our thoughts. So I think today, given how pharma played out and how all of us are equally bullish on it, it made a good conversation, definitely. And we were able to back it with charts and a lot of analysis from Archit, Pranav, Bimal, and your thoughts as well, Keval, on the fundamental side. Shreyansh also chipping in with the news. So I think we had a good session today. And I request all the members to ensure that you all have subscribed to the channel, so that next time around you can just, you'll get a notification whenever we are going live with whatever topic we decide. And that's about it from our side. Thank you very much. Just to end it, I would just request you all that just don't blindly buy any stock on basis of discussion that has happened here. You have the entire night before you decide to invest any of your hard-earned money. Do your due diligence, and definitely we'll have more of these conversations and sessions wherein we're discussing a number of things going forward. I think we'll definitely keep this on our priority, and I think we can have more of these discussions at this point. I think it's convenient for you also, right? The time zones are matching at this point in time.
For me, any time is fine. Just tell me in advance, I'll be there.
Done. And yeah, lastly, this one was scheduled at a very short notice, and I would like to thank Keval, Pranav, Bimal, all my team members, to take out your time, give us the opportunity to help us, our audience, understand your thoughts also, because all of us have been in the markets for quite some time now, to understand and be able to convey some of our thoughts. Obviously, we all are giving our thoughts from our standpoint and from our understanding. Eventually, all the members who watch us are requested to use your logical side of the brain and take decisions accordingly. But we look forward to having more of these discussions at the convenience of all of us, and definitely the next time we'll plan it much better, and it'll be more advanced and more coordinated and stuff. This time was a very short notice, so thanks for still making it, and we had a good discussion. I hope you all had a good time. Archit, you have anything to add? Pranav, you have anything to add?
I actually, in relation to one share, I just wanted to add the SPARC thing. I was just looking at it again. So you guys might understand that, we get just like 30 seconds to really analyze these shares. So sometimes we may miss out on something. So right now, while Darshan was speaking, I just was looking at the share. If I may share my screen. So over here, if you see, I've just put a normal Fibonacci from, the lifetime highs to the bottom that it formed recently. And if you see, the 210 levels is kind of coinciding with the 0.236 level, which is an important Fibonacci level. So it should, once it crosses 210, I am personally going to be buying the share, and you can do your due diligence as well before looking at the share, but it looks very attractive at that level. Yeah, I think that's it from my end.
So
So we'll
anyways,
just
thank you for attending this session. We'll look how our views pan out tomorrow or in the next few weeks, and hopefully in the coming weekend we'll be able to schedule one more webinar, I guess, Darshan.
yes, definitely we'll schedule one over a Friday so that most of us are well informed in advance,
Yeah,
and we
I
can
think
prepare
so.
for
Niti
the
can
conference.
take on that session. Even she is ready to pick up. She's been doing great on the
Yeah,
Twitter
I think
itself.
Niti is also on Twitter. I think she has just joined Twitter. Niti, you have anything to add? You can unmute yourself. She's one of the brighter kids from our team. Yeah, Niti, we can hear you.
I think you all have added everything. There's nothing more to add.
So you can follow her as well. Even she posts some charts, some new insights, and I think so over the next few sessions, even she can put in some analysis of her own. So that's it from our side, I guess, Darshan. Let's wrap it
Done.
up. Let's
We'll
enjoy our
wrap it
dinner
up.
as well.
Thanks all the members who watched us, attended this session. Thanks all the members who have participated in it. And we look forward to having all of you all the next time around. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.